Welcome to another episode of The Naked Brand. All right, today we talk about investing in your business. Now, typically, when I say investing in your business, a lot of founders might be rolling their eyes and thinking, okay, yeah, we do invest in our business. We invest in advertising, for instance, or we invest in content, or we invest in marketing. Okay, let's analyze that. Okay, let's find out what investing really is. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that a founder or a business can make is not investing in the right kind of elements for their business, not being even aware of that. There's a whole broad spectrum of things that you need to invest in if you want your business to succeed. Now, investing, when I say, what I really mean is putting money back into the business. So let's say you have a business, it's going well, you have revenue coming in, you have profits. Typically, people tend to put a percentage of their profits back into the business. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But the better way to do that is to put a percentage of your revenue into the business. Consider that even as a cost of sales, cost of doing business. So let's look at the different things that you can really invest in. And when I say that these are the elements that are really crucial to invest, to put the money back so that your business will scale and it will succeed. The first and foremost, and you know I'm going to say this, is brand strategy. Now, brand strategy is one of the foundational elements of your brand. Okay, this talks about brand strategy. Is all about the brand essence. It's about the brand story. It's about understanding and profiling your audience, creating buyer personas, understanding their archetypes, which in turn will inform how the messaging framework should be created, how you need to message to each of your buyer personas or tiers of audience. It also informs your brand story. Brand story, which is of course different from your origin story. It is the story you tell your audience that aligns with their worldview and all that. So a brand story, a brand strategy is actually one of the most foundational elements of your business. And it's not just about a brand strategy that you created 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, right? It is a living document. It is a living entity that needs to be regenerated, replenished, sort of structured every 6 months, a year. Some brands even do it every 3 months. It depends on the size of your brand. It depends on the size of your revenue, size of your audience, and so on. But it needs to be audited regularly and it needs to be sort of refreshed. Why refreshed? Because look, the brand essence may not change much. Of course, your core purpose, your internal purpose, your higher purpose goals, they may not change much. But the audience personas change, the audience profile changes, the trends in the marketplace, consumer behaviors, competitors doing different things, innovations taking place in the marketplace. If you're not sort of tweaking your brand strategy in line with all these developments, then you're going to lose out. And of course, you need to invest in that. That takes time, it takes money, it takes expertise. So that's the first thing. What about brand identity, right? Brand identity, which is the visual identity, which is the visual language, that's the next one. The visual language of your brand is fundamental. It's one of the core components of how it creates revenue. Trust me, when I say that your visual language creates revenue, and I mean it, a big part of your revenue is because of your visual language. It's a consistent and appealing sense of messaging that comes through visual language. Now, a lot of brands, have a logo, have a visual language, and so on. And, they probably had it created 3, 4, 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. You have to, just like brand strategy, you have to tweak your visual language. You have to keep it updated. You have to be improving it. You have to be finding new angles depending on the media that you're working with. It could be, for example, social media. And depending on what's happening on social media, the trends, you got to be tweaking your visual language. Your website needs to be tweaked every 3 months. Especially if you're in the e-commerce business, then yeah, it's a constant kind of tweaking, not just the visual language, but also the visual cues and navigation, how you're selling your products, how you're funneling your audience, a lot of that. And of course, visual language communicates your brand values. Therefore, a tired looking, a stale looking, and uninteresting, or sometimes downright bad visual language, you're leaving money on the table, you're losing sales. So you got to invest in your visual language, in updating your identity. The next one is content strategy. Okay, content strategy. Well, everyone knows about the role of content in engaging, educating, and converting audiences, right? But what is content strategy? Content strategy is not just about saying, okay, we need to create content about, I don't know, cakes. Let's say you're a cake business, right? So we need to create content about cakes, the benefits of cakes, or the lack of, and then just posting out blog posts or posting on social media. Yes, that could be content strategy, but a content strategy goes beyond that. It should be planned so that it aligns with the buyer's journey and brand positioning, right? So what is buyer's journey? Buyer's journey is what you create, in your brand strategy as part of your buyer persona and archetypes and things like that. So a buyer's journey is fundamental to your business, and your content should be structured around the buyer's journey. One of the fundamental mistakes that people or founders or businesses make is thinking that their audience is at the end of that journey, or they just consider the end of that journey. Somebody with a credit card in their hand and they're ready to buy, right? Wrong. A buyer's journey starts from not knowing about the problem that your business or that your service or your products solve, right? So you gotta start targeting people right from that stage. Of course, if you're solving a problem that your audience would have, and you know how to target your audience who may get this problem that you're trying to solve. But planning content around all the stages of the journey, from where they don't know about the problem they have to where they know they have a problem and they want to solve it, to knowing that they have to solve the problem and looking at different options in the marketplace. Maybe they don't know you yet, but they do know that some solutions exist in the marketplace. To knowing X, Y, Z solutions, and maybe your solution is also part of that list. To understanding what your solution is, how you're differentiated, and how you're unique, or why they should buy from you. To seriously considering buying from your business. To having their credit card in hand, ready to buy your product or service. So it's a huge journey, and content should be developed to align with the various stages of the journey. You shouldn't be targeting only the people who are ready to buy. You should be targeting people who are all these stages of their journey. The next one that businesses don't invest in or put money back is content distribution. So once you got the content, what do? Right? You need to distribute that. It's not enough just to write a blog post, put it up on your website, or write a few social media posts, just post them on LinkedIn or Twitter or X or whatever. No, you need to distribute your content. Distributing your content is fundamental, and understanding the importance of distribution is critical, again, to reach a wider audience. So you need to put money back. You need to look at the different channels. You need to understand your primary channel, your secondary channel, and the effective tactics for that distribution. The next one is investing in people, self-development of the founders, of the employees, the team members. A lot of founders don't understand the impact of continuous learning and development on business growth. Not only their teams, not only technical learning, but other kinds of learning. This could be self-development in areas other than your business, because all kinds of learning, all kinds of development feeds back into your business, into your role as a leader. For example, if you're the founder, your role as someone who is steering the ship, who is effectively a brand ambassador, right? You need to be constantly learning. You need to be learning about business. You need to be learning about branding, about strategy, about marketing, about Facebook advertising, about social media posting, about audience engagement, conversions, selling. There's lots to learn. You've got to be always constantly learning and invest money into that. Take some good courses. Of course, beware. Now it's, the whole internet is full of courses, but take a look at and find the best courses that you can afford and go for those. Don't try to go for some random course just because it's cheap, right? Invest in the right kind of course, even if it takes longer, even if it's expensive, and get that investment going. Do the same for your team members, for your employees. Help them sort of learn not only the technical side of things, but also other kind of attributes that they can add on. Next is staying ahead of the competition. Now, a year back, maybe a couple of years back, I was of the opinion that looking at the competition is really it has negative aspects, right? Because people were so focused on what the competitors were doing, what the competition was doing, that were not really focusing on their own. And I used to advocate that, okay, you need to take a generic look at the competitors and then just focus, go inwards. But now market trends are changing, the landscape is changing, consumers are changing, and competitors are changing. So you got to be really, really, really on top of what the competition is doing. If they're pivoting, if they're changing their messaging, if they're changing their visual language, if they're changing their products or services, if they're adding on new products, these things could tell you about a change in the landscape. And you need to invest in monitoring those. Invest in tools that give you insights into your competitors, into the marketplace. Invest in reports, invest in market surveys, segmentation, news items. There's lots that you can invest in to keep on top of what's happening, not only in the marketplace, but what's happening with your kind of competitors, right? So investing in your business, that is putting money back into your business, has these added benefits, right? It'll give you a competitive advantage, and it'll help you keep on top of trends and changes in consumer behavior, right? Because look, being adaptable and responsive to market changes, that is crucial. That is half your revenue. Also, you got to invest in research and consumer insights. And this will lead to better decision making. Because when you're sitting there, you want to make a decision, you don't just make it in vacuum. You make data-based decisions, right? And also innovation. You got to invest in innovation. You got to have a certain budget earmarked for investing in new technologies and methodologies that can sort of foster innovation. Because I'm telling you, innovation is going to keep you alive in the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. All right, I'll see you in the next video.